It's live, so we're definitely live.
So
Hello,
get
everyone. How you guys doing today? Welcome to the Lunar Muse session here with Marie DePriest and myself, Jack Civitarese. Mary?
and we are right on the cusp of the dark moon and the new moon. This is my favorite part of the lunar cycle, I think. I love the pause. It really does feel like that moment in between for me. And I hate it when I miss it. When I'm not paying attention, all of a sudden the new moon has come up and I've hated these missing these just few hours. We were talking
Mhm.
about that earlier. What it's new, it'll be new moon on. Oh, we got a comment. Yay, that means people can see us. That's great. Hello.
Oh, let me open up that section. There we go. Oh,
There we
hello,
go.
hello. Wonderful. That's so good to hear. I hate it when I miss it too, when I see
Yeah.
that brand new moon crescent, and I'm like, oh, I missed the dark goddess.
Yeah.
But we are in Virgo season as of today, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you felt that shift of energy, that last leonine vibe that occurred today, and I definitely felt it 2 days ago. There was a lot of kind of bravery kind of took a dip, that weekend lion energy, that, and a lot of drama, and rightfully so. Like, and I know people are under a lot of stress for various reasons. So I think the
Yes.
drama is also just a sign of kind of that this waning year we're at right now.
And the decans are shifting out of the fire energy and into the earth energy. We're going into the 8, the 9, and the 10 of Pentacles for
Yep.
this season. So we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But it's funny because I like the equinox and the solstice too for those, but there are the shifting periods, happen all the time, and just that we have the new moon and the new Virgo season at the same time is really pretty intense. Pretty
We do,
intense.
yeah. It's as soon as the sun hit Virgo, the new moon is right there, and this does happen from time to time. So I just want to say, for those who were wondering when the exact new moon is, it is today for those in the Pacific at 10:24 p.m. and it is tomorrow, Saturday, the 23rd, and at 1:24 a.m. for those in the Eastern time period. And it's really going to we're really feeling this now, this really dark moon. But have you been seeing a lot of posts about the black moon
Yes,
today?
yes.
I
And
want to talk a little
no.
bit.
Yes, please, please.
It's hype. It's obviously hype. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I see like every 33 years. Well, what's 33 years in the grand scheme of the stars, plus according to whose calendar. It's obviously
Yeah.
it's four dark moons in a single season. But again, you know, we're going to talk about how seasons are also just not accurate for depending on where you are.
Right. And if you're a meteorologist, summer starts September 1st because
Mm,
that's meteorological summer. That's the science. That's
yes.
what they've just decided that. If I mean we know that the equinox is on the 23rd. If you live where I live in Southeast Texas, it is still summer into November. So
So this kind of the four full moons being a blue moon in one season, and then four new moons or the dark moons are this black moon.
So it's 4 in one season, not 2 in 130 in one cycle. It's 4 in a season. That's what makes
That's what I know it to
right.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that. I like that. I see. I can buy into that. I can that I can get because
But you
that's
see
rare.
posts where people are actually claiming that it's um, that the sky is somehow darker because
Yeah.
it's black moon, and it's like, no, the moon is still behaving just as the moon does. And it is still no moon is what because the moon did set with the sun today.
Yes.
So
As it
that
always
is
does.
as it
The
always
moon
does
the
during.
moon cares not for the human calendar.
Nor is it darker. And
Exactly.
it's almost as if like a black hole appears every 33 years, so that the drift really shows up. So, so I was just looking and I'm like, wow, people are making a lot of hype over the dark moon. There's always a dark moon. And when I say dark moon, I mean the darkest period before it's the new moon.
Hmm.
It's really just there's nothing
Right
shining.
before that little crescent happens in the right. Yep.
And because there's before peak and there's after peak.
Hmm.
That's when we're dealing with moons and we're dealing with a lot of things. There's so the darkest period. So that's all I'm referring
Right.
to. I'm like, why are they making a big deal? Because some people do call that a black moon. Like, why are they making a big deal? And then I realized I read into it, and I'm like, wait a second.
Even wrong, no matter what they're basing it on, it's still wrong.
Yeah, it's still hype. So,
Yeah.
so we won't be talking about that. Just to let you know. Quite a few things we do want to talk about because Virgo rules the Hermit card. So I know we
Hmm.
talked a little bit about this in February, but we'll touch upon this again. What are some of the other things I said we wanted to talk about? Do I?
We were going to talk about, I know we are going to talk about the end of the suit of pentacles because we're in this last decan for that.
Yes.
So those, because we'll move those as every decan is 10 days of every solar solar period. So there'll be 10, there'll be 3 10-day periods through Virgo. And that would be the 8 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles. And that also kind of takes us through the end of the suit, too. The end of
It
the
does.
Earth suit.
Yep. And I did leave out the Seven of Pentacles just so because that's a transition into the next
Right.
deck. And so I did kind of include that. And then I believe
Yeah, because he's still holding on right now, just for a little bit.
And then the Knight of Pentacles, I believe it was, that energy is affiliated with this time of year, I'm pretty sure. Or it could be my own psychicism that's attached to it.
That's interesting. I like the double hermit because it's a hermit year, and so it's like the palindrome dates when you get to those and what the significance is. But that it's hermit season in a hermit year, and so is it. So for this 28 30-day period, and we've got it for the year, we've got it for the moon, and we've got it for the sun right now. So if that's not crying out for introspection. And I read something earlier today that said that this Virgo moon is kind of like being like right on the top of the roller coaster. You're not off of it, but you have a chance to take a look and survey the landscape before you take off again, right?
Yeah,
in this,
absolutely on the highest point.
Exactly. And that just resonated. I don't remember where I read that today, but it just made that's where we are. And it's time to take that pause in the dark moon and take a look at where we're going. We're not going to be able to stop it possibly, but have a good idea about how to navigate it, a better idea if we stop to pay attention.
Absolutely. Virgo is really doesn't like surprises. So, having that overview is very important to Virgo energy. They don't like anything to come upon them. They like to have that analytical mind. They like to have that analysis in the opportunity to really put things into perspective, introspective, if you will. And then, because they are Gemini ruled. They're Mercury ruled, just like Gemini is. So it's like a higher octane. And so they really are, they're really good at organization. They're really good at foresight. Applying that practicality that is very common with all the earth signs, but this one is more of a multitasker, the big picture, and so it is definitely that season but Virgo also has a lot of, people that become nurses, people that become doctors, people that become really defined kind of, seamstress. My Virgo placement allows me to do that. Nitpicking, fine, detailed work that requires rules and regulations requires structure is very.
I'm a Virgo child.
You all the
yes.
So this is the time period when we start to care more about hygiene or our health. We start to tend to our home. We start to tend to our surroundings more. We start to think about what is next. Now that we are really in the waning year at this point, and it's becoming more obvious depending on how north you are. So.
Right.
Yes, so this is so this energy to kind of really assess and really meet challenges or in yield to some decisions, some things that need to happen because we are in the harvest season, and that's kind of what I want to focus on too. We just had
Yeah.
Lunasa pass for those who practice or celebrate the turning of the wheel and some kind of pagan or Wicca practice, and and now we're up quickly going to approach the equinox, so the autumn
Mark,
equinox.
marking the passage of time, however, should we settle in and do our meditation and
I
ground
think just at
ourselves?
this
Because
point,
we've
yeah, we've been
yeah,
ranting for 10
well, it's the
minutes.
end of that Leo energy, isn't it? I mean, we're right at the beginning of Virgo, but it's having a hard time letting go.
I know we haven't done this in a minute, so I'm also just trying
Nope.
to get to my space. But I think a good meditation will do just fine.
Yeah, we have a few people in the comments. I know we've got Diane and we've got Rania and Calliope and E. Preston. So a couple of people from Greece because Rania is from Greece too. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I think we have a few people joining us, so this will be a good time to start. And hello to all the people we can't see because we know you're there. The people that we will see on the replay. If you'll please settle comfortably into your seat, feet on the floor, hands in your lap, palms up and receptive, and close your eyes gently. Imagine your heart is also open and receptive. Open your chest a little. Take 3 4 breaths. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And rest at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And rest, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. In your mind's eye, look up into the evening sky. You see the dark moon in Virgo. You can feel its grounding energy at the beginning of its cycle and the precipice of the new moon phase. As the evening sky darkens into night, you see an infinite number of stars that are tiny pinpoints in the indigo velvet of the universe. A section of this velvet begins to separate as it reaches down and folds in close to you, wrapping itself around your shoulders like a shawl. Take a deep breath in and out. You feel your shawl of stars. It's both heavy and light. It's warm and it's cool. It's as smooth as satin and pillowy like fluffy fleece. Your shawl holds you in its comfortable and safe embrace. You feel the universe in balance all around you, always. One more deep breath in and out. And slowly open your eyes. Let yourself adjust to the light and the surroundings of your room. And we will remain in this space wrapped in our shawls of stars for the next 45 minutes or so.
Thank you, Mary.
Okay. So we're right on this cusp of the dark moon to the new moon and the balance of between Leo and Virgo, and you can see the shadows starting to lengthen as sun sets a little bit earlier. I mean, we're still, if you can see fall on the horizon. For some of us it's a little bit closer than others, but even it doesn't really have anything to do with the temperature. You get the way the light shifts and the way that it changes. I mean, it's these little signs that happen bit by bit and day by day that kind of usher us into the next cycle. And that is the magic of the universe.
Absolutely. We here in New England are definitely feeling it last few days. We see a lot more leaves have fallen. The grasses are definitely kind of sunburnt at this point. And I'm wearing a sweater, and not because I have the air on, but because, yeah, I was chilly today. It was nice. It was very sweet, and so I definitely feel that shift. A lot of people that are just sensitive to energy feels that shift too.
Yes.
You know, that definitely behaviors are shifting, things along those lines. So I've been reading a lot more people lately. I don't know about you, if a lot more people have been coming your way because of their shifts in life.
In roundabout, it hasn't been, oh, can I get a reading? It's been like really different, and it's been interesting. I had someone who is a professional reader reading at festivals who wanted just to touch base, and I'm like, I don't know that I can help you. I mean, you're a great reader. And what he said to me, which was really, it really made me, it touched me, but it also made a lot of sense. He said, he said, professionals still get coaching. He said, baseball players still go to the baseball coach. He said, I'm doing this festival. I just, I wanted to just, have to touch base and get an opinion from someone I trusted. So that was just, so it's been different. I haven't had that before, but it's
That's
been,
nice. And
yeah,
that's,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, this is the time for perspective,
Exactly,
to come.
exactly. And with all of those things, I mean, I learned, this it's a joint thing. I mean, I learned, a lot about myself doing that as well.
Hmm.
But, I'm
Did you
looking
want to?
through, as I
Yep.
should have already done. I'm looking for my 7, 8, 9, and 10
I have the
of
7
Pentacles.
out while you look. So this is definitely from the previous energy. Well, we're right on the cusp of it. I have two different decks that I'm working with. I have the New Vision, which really shows that behind the scene. And then I have my Radiant Rider Waite. So that's what I'm using today. So if you see kind of backwards cards, that's what that's about, that New Vision. So the 7, this is a tricky card because I always interpreted this as a good card, but I know some of the more traditional meanings is um like unsuccessful, harvest, and but this card is always giving me that yielding energy, that this is really where we don't count until it is done. We don't start counting all our eggs until they know they're hatched. We don't start making plans with our riches until we know that they are turned in and there's no debt. So this is really assessment energy that I've always gotten with this card. Um, still a success card to me because
Mm-hmm.
it's 7, and I still get that vibration that it's like this is really hard work that's paying off. But even with this reversed view, we have this ghostly figure up
Oh,
ahead.
wow.
Yes, and it does give me that echo of kind of like, we can't count um on our gains or our losses. Everything is still yet to be. So,
And it's like, what does that figure see that we can't? I mean, because we're looking at from the same perspective as that.
mhm.
So is it looking further? That's
Yep.
and I just the basic the Rider Waite Smith. I've always liked that because there's a bounty there. There's definitely a bounty there. But is it this is the we're moving into the season of balance. You get a little further into September. We're in the autumnal equinox, so it's a balance time. So is there too much of one thing and not enough of another? It's
Yes.
is it maybe not too late? Maybe we're talking about the being in the harvest time. Can you thin some of that out? And maybe this is maybe that your pumpkins have choked out your tomatoes, or something like that. And so if you
Mhm.
thin them out, maybe you can get one more harvest of the other before it's all done.
And think about that with our lives. How many projects do we have going at once? We're
I
not
know.
literally talking about pumpkins sometimes. I mean, so really use these analogies. How many things that we are got going on all the time that if we just let two go and realize that this was not the year, or this did not have enough get up and go, what can we actually then the other projects and allow them to really come into?
The
But
last hurrah for that. This is your last chance to make it work. And where is that? So that's and so that we will be in the decan of the 7 of Pentacles from what now is the 22nd throw, so through like the very first part of September, and then we'll move the 1st of September. We will move to the 8. No,
yeah,
we'll move from the 8 to the 9. Sorry, 7. We're hanging on to the 7 as the transition. So we're moving into the Eight of Pentacles now. So
Yes.
yeah, so from that, taking a look of what we might still need to do. It's what is the saying about talking about doing something is the same as not doing anything. So
Yeah.
don't just look at it and think about it. It's like you really do have to. The days really are growing shorter. You're going to have to get busy
Mhm.
if you want to get on it.
And what
Take
I
that
love
last
about
little
this
bit.
card, this is such a Virgo vibe. I mean, look at this. This is someone who's doing detailed work and trying to perfect
Yes.
it one disc at a time. This is
Hmm.
very much that student that Virgo always is. That Mercury ruled energy that is all about Virgo and really wants to be the task, keep busy, keep tasks in mind, and up to speed. Unlike the seven, this is really not just looking over, like assessing what's going to happen, and wondering. This is actually doing. We're in the time period where this is Virgo is a mutable sign. It does like to just apply itself. It's not just going to kind of boss around. It's going to make use of the energy. So I do love that about the Eight of Pentacles there. So that's we can apply that, and this is a good time. I mean, it's a perfect time to go back to school.
Yeah.
Eight of Pentacles, the student. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've pulled the Witch Sister Tarot, which is a very, very different. And so this, and in this deck, the stones are the pentacles. And while we don't see what she's doing, she's got a laser focus. I mean, her expression, this is a very people driven, a very humanistic, looking at it's all about the expressions and where they're looking and the directionality, but looking forward, and got
I
her,
love
she has
her
her.
tool, her chisel. Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
she's holding it like she knows how to use it. Like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That tool is part of her. It's
Yep.
not something that she picks up. She has been using it. And that the Eight of Pentacles is also in, from a Taoist perspective, we always talk about the 10,000 things. You do something 10,000 times to become proficient at it. And
Ah.
so after 10,000 times, like I said, that chisel is just part of her.
Hmm.
It doesn't, it's an extension of her. It's almost no longer a tool. And
It's
that.
interesting with that too because I can get sometimes people with Virgos get really severe. I don't want to say OCD in the way where the disease is prevalent in the actual, but the kind of the more common repetitiveness does happen a
Mhm.
lot more if two Virgos or in Virgo season. So heads up on that. Do get a little kooky in the head sometimes during. I do, not everybody, but I don't. But yeah,
Yeah.
repetitive things, task making. I have the nine out somewhere. I just had her. I don't know where she went now. Oh, I have the reversed view of the nine. The nine of Pentacles.
That's one of my favorite cards. And I'm not a big, Pentacles is not my favorite suit.
Yeah, she often. I again, this is the new vision. But she often represents me, my little garden and my little bird and my little pets and my little
There
finery.
she is from the front.
Yes. So she's a really alone, she's really like Venus and Virgo vibe. She has that kind of energy that really speaks to loving everything that she's doing in her life, all her little hobbies, all her little charms that she loves. She is isolated, and so is she a widow? Is she a kept woman, with that gate? She's in her nice regal moments. um but she's also alone. She's also kind of hermity in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
She's
Yep.
kind, just like the
Yep.
hermit is.
And this is alone without being lonely. She understands the difference. She's
Mhm.
very, very content. And all, because it's the nine, we're at the end of the cycle. It's like that. It's almost are you too content? Are you too comfortable? Because while this is a really good place to be, you can't stay in any place forever. When I bring her up in the Witch Sister, the Nine of Stones, I like, so again, she's got that her stance is very self-contained, and she's holding a horseshoe, meaning that all of the good things that are in her life, she understands that she's made her own luck. these things just didn't happen. They happened because she took the steps to bring them apart, to bring them about. People have to say, oh, you're so lucky, your life is so great, you have everything that you need. It's like luck didn't really have anything to do with it. I created that luck.
I like how she holds it too, like at her navel, where
Yeah.
that's also a place of like the sacred navel, of creativity. So
Yes, her
she's
seat
saying,
of power. And
yes,
yeah.
all my creative, all my endeavors, all my, uniqueness, I had to work towards them. So now I'm in a perfected state or near
Yeah.
perfected state of.
Hmm.
So, and then we have the Ten of Pentacles
Which will
here.
happen later in September.
Hmm.
And I like the timing on that too, because we'll be just past the equinox and moving closer towards, we always talk about the ancestors. I mean, they're always with us, but this is we're moving into their time of year where they are more at the forefront and coming forward, and all the layers of people in this card. I mean, even when you look like in the robes and stuff, you can see more of them there that come out the longer that you look at it.
Oh, absolutely. They're definitely there. The ancestry card, um, a perfect home. This is like a legacy of a family. This isn't just a family. This is really, they're leaving back multiple generations of knowledge, love, um, charm, and, even at this point, prosperity, when it
Hmm.
comes to pentacles. So, good fortune.
And in the Witch Sister, there she is. There
Mm.
is there is the mother of all mothers. And the look on her face is, do not let me down. Do not squander what we have worked so hard to bring forth generation by generation by generation.
Yeah,
Just in case that Virgo energy didn't need a little bit of guilt to help it along.
it
There's
can be
Nana.
a very intense card, yes. And then I wanted to bring up one more, which was the Knight of Pentacles. I know
Yeah,
I think
explain that to me. I like that, but I don't.
yeah. So I've seen him back and forth on some of the charts, the wheel charts. And
Mhm.
for me, I'm pretty sure he's Taurus ruled, if I remember correctly, that he's not Virgo ruled, and I know he's slow and steady. Um, and I know that he's not Virgo. He's not one of the Virgo. I can't remember who's the Virgo. And is it the Queen? Oh snap! Anyways, I should have done more research before I did this. But
Well, I think that's kind of it. Just depends on how you put your cardinal and your fixed and your mutable.
yeah,
So because I see the knights as mutable signs.
I know. So that's what I mean. Is he the Virgo? He
Yeah,
could be. Yeah,
yeah.
he is more flexible, and that's mutable is. So this energy too, it's definitely, I mean, for a lot of people, for myself and for a lot of other people, this is the busy season for a lot of people, especially, those of us that, are Salem witches. This is a very busy time. This is that kind of one foot in front of the other, and you will get all your items to all the places that you need them to get. You will. So this is the card I
And
took.
you've been even. I mean, like all summer, like you haven't let up. It's been busy energy for you.
For a
Just
hermit year, I don't know why there was zero hermiting happening. Zero isolation. So I found that to be very interesting. But I do like that Knight of Pentacles vibe, and I do like that there is so much more to this year. Just because we're in the waning season and it's going to be September any minute now, that doesn't mean that the year is up. There's still so much to do and so much to see and explore. We just have to pace ourselves. And I think that's really the message of the Knight of Pentacles that I enjoy. And anyone that knows for sure what sign Knight of Pentacles is, please chime in the comments because
yeah. No,
now,
I think that, I mean, like I said, I always see knights as the mutable. And I see queens as
yes,
cardinals, kings as fixed, and knights are mutable. That makes sense in my world anyway.
okay, I'm going for it. I like it. It tells me different. Um, Kings are definitely fixed. Yeah, I guess I would agree with that totally.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And queens are cardinal. Fight me. Yeah, right.
well, so we love to do readings for our people that are here,
Yeah.
and always know that if you don't get a reading, or even if you got a reading and you feel like that person's reading tied into you, you can just feel it in your heart. You're like, ooh, that hit something. Then that reading is for you too, because that's what's wonderful about cards is that they are universal. The imagery and the message, if it cuts deep, then don't say, hey, that wasn't for me, because we're reading to the masses. We're reading for anyone that watches this 3 days from now. We're reading for all of you. So just want to give you a reminder of that, that if you
And
felt
also,
that.
if you feel really strongly that it's not for you, maybe you need to take it and just sit with it.
Mhm.
Just sit with it, because sometimes that aversion is instinctive and our instincts are on point. So,
Yeah, so some food for thought there.
and I see that we have some people who have said hello in the comments. So, and we won't necessarily just read from you from those. Please put a comment in if you, okay. So, Joanne was the first. Can do a reading for Manoli, her dog. And if you can't do one, I think we can. Do you want to take Manoli? I'll take Manoli. What we could read for Manoli. That's fine.
Oh, I have no problem reading for animals.
You want
Absolutely.
to go?
Sure.
Okay. And then if somebody wants to put in for next, I'll take the next one.
Okay. All right, Joanne. I'm going to do 3 cards for Manoli. Okay.
And then Diane is next, and I'll take Diane next.
Okay. Well, I have some intense cards, so but good one. The Sun card's here too, the best card in the deck. But it does start off with the 3 of Hearts, which is a very intense card of heartbreak, ruin, sadness, and anxiety. A lot of anxiety and worry. So I do have it flanking with this wonderful Sun card, which is longevity, it's hope. Um, it can be prosperity and abundance, but I think in this case, this just has to do with, like, kind of a miracle at the edge, some kind of good news and blessing coming the way. And it doubles down with the 8 of Wands. This card is ruled by Jupiter. It's the falling in love card fast. It's the great news, great abundance, great blessing coming in very hot. So I feel like there's anxiety here, definitely associated with your animal, some perhaps bad news lately. Um, but at the end of the day, there does seems to be peace and comfort. You know what that means for your animal, and you know to what end that would entail. I don't have a sense that there's a real loss here to come, but I do have a sense that there's a lot more relief for you and a lot more reassurance of how to move forward coming up. So that's more the vibe that I'm getting here. So, but I can sense the anxiety from a mile away. And often when we're switching from one end of the other, oh, just had teeth pulled. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, so this would be a surgery card. So this is a major surgery, a lot of pain and inflammation. So on a health note, thank you, Joanne, for chiming in. So a lot of pain, a lot of inflammation, a lot of anxiety. So really just trying to keep your dog comfortable and at peace, because yes, fast recovery under the 8s.
I'm so glad to see that from Manoli turning the corner quickly.
Good. Oh my gosh, because I never
Jack,
know what people are asking about when they're. I'm like, oh.
Jack, just so you know, Manoli is a world traveler. I don't know. Manoli has probably been more places than a lot of people.
Well, back at it real soon. Few days.
Okay,
Especially that
great.
global energy of the 8.
Okay, so Diane's next. And Diane, I've pulled 3 cards for you. I have the 2 of Cups, the Magician, and the 6 of Wands. And what I'm getting is that there's some sort of a teamwork, a partnership happening. The 2 of Cups can sometimes be a more romantic connection, but it's based on something other than just emotions. It's usually based on having common goals or seeing things the same way, this kind of a partnership. I've also pulled the Magician and the Six of Wands, and this tells me that you've got this teamwork thing going on, but really and truly, you're the one that needs to take the lead, and you're the one that needs to make it happen. It's important for the success of this to be sure that the other person feels included, even if they're aware that you're the one carrying most of the load and having most of the creative input and that thing. Because they are your support and they are your cheerleader, and they're going to be, while you might be the one making things materially and creatively making them happen, they're the ones that are also rallying the troops, bringing the rest of the people in on it. That's their skill. So while it appears that you're the one, that has the in the driver's seat and doing all of it, just know that this other person's role is important, and it's important that they also feel included. I don't think there's a problem with that. It might even be more that you need to be sure to make them aware how important they are in the project. Not that they're trying to steal your thunder. They're just wishing they could do more, but they need to know that what they're doing is enough. So I hope that resonates.
I do know Diane's got a lot of little projects going on, so I'll be curious to hear which one that might have be attached to. Awesome, very good.
And Calliope is next, Jax, if you want to take her, and then I'll take Rania after that.
All right, Calliope, I'm going to use the New Vision deck for this one. Ooh, and a card threw itself out, so I'm going to stick with that one and pick two more. You got to play those cards when they throw themselves out.
I know. Drives me nuts, so I just went, no, get back in there. For some reason, I don't want you.
I know. I'm a stickler for it. I don't care if three fell out. We're doing all the... All righty. So the first card that did fly out is the Lovers Reversed, and I just want to assess the other two real quick. So the Empress and the Knight of Swords. So for me, this is kind of I'm not getting that this is a partnership, honestly, especially with the Empress here and the Knight of Swords. I'm getting because sometimes the Lovers has to do with a partnership. It has to do with us, not just a significant other, actually more often like a partner, just like the two. But I'm getting more the yin and yang of self. I'm getting more of the complexity of a situation that you find yourself in, and to me, it's a frustrating level. It's a kind of I don't want to see that it's betrayal, but I am getting a sense that there was a little bit of like kind of that Virgo vibe, like are you talking to me? Did you mean this towards me? Like I am not that person. I'm not that that. I don't know where this is coming from, and I get that it's coming from various things that are not accurate. This is, to me, almost your viewpoint has been skewed over a situation. This is the energy of maybe needing to kind of take a breath, take a bigger look. There's a lot of hot tempers that we just left under Leo energy, and maybe this dramatic vibe that I knew I was sensing under its spell, last week, all of last week, might have bit you a little bit. So now it's kind of, okay, let's take this back a little bit. Let's bring this back to ourselves and kind of have a good look at self. So that is the vibe that I'm getting with this Lovers Reverse. I hope that made sense to you. It's almost like putting up a black mirror, I guess it's the best way to say it, and say, were those valads of you being hurt valid? Were those feelings valid, or were they on the cusp of being extreme? Because at the end of the day, you are the Empress. Everybody loves you. So I don't know. That's the vibe I'm getting. That Knight of Swords is a little, maybe too rash, in my opinion.
Okay, and then I'll take Rania. I'm looking at these cards, Rania, because wait till the cards I just read this reading, I got the Two of Waters, which is the Two of Cups. Again, I got the King of Trees, which is the King of Wands in this deck. And the King of Wands is the court embodiment of the Magician. But we've got a little bit of a shift here because I also, Strength is the card that I pulled to kind of bring those together. So this is, and if you look at these Two of Cups, I mean, this one is a power play. I mean, this really isn't, I mean, these are two people needing, one needs the other and the other needs the first to bring it together. Where they're holding their hands, or they need to make a conduit, and they're struggling with that. And one of them is wrestling for control, or maybe they both are. And that's where we've got, it's like, because there's a lot of blue in here too. And this isn't a calm blue to me. This is not how I feel with that. And then I got Strength. And Strength in this is in the form of like a really pissed off cat. This isn't like the lion and the Rider-Waite Smith that's just standing there with its mouth open. And, she's up above it knowing that she's going to have to wrestle this really ticked off cat, who is the Magician taking the form of the King of Wands. Because while it's the court embodiment of the Magician, he's not the Magician. He is in the minor courts. He thinks this is energy that thinks it's above its station. So I think there's a bit of a struggle, and just know that what you're up against is akin to giving, a really ticked off. So what do you do with the cat? You put it in a pillowcase, or you somehow restrain the cat. So it could also be, I'm just getting this as I'm talking about it, this ticked off cat energy could be you. And maybe you need to go off in a corner in a little bit and get over, because the hissiness isn't getting anybody anywhere. So that was a lot of words, and I'm not quite sure where that came from, but I hope that
it's very similar reading. There's definitely a vibe that has happened at the end. I mean, you've got to remember, Mercury went direct on the 11th, but the storm was until the 17th.
Right.
So, I mean, there's been a lot of hot takes. There's been a lot of moments where that end of Leo energy,
I'm just,
and it's no longer a heart vibration that early Leo is. It becomes like this more brave, bold, or wounded lion. So it's either one or the other. There's either like all claws or a wounded lion. And so, can be even the cowardly lion. And then you pair that with self-doubt and self-esteem. I mean, it can be a recipe, for uncertainty for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's what I experienced for other people too.
Getting it, this definitely needs a cooling off period of a bit. And you're right. We're moving out of Leo and into Virgo. So let that feline energy just calm down a little bit, because it's not going anywhere.
No, and sometimes it isn't helpful by the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Attain's next.
All right. Are you guys still here? The chat seemed to be paused, or is no one chiming in?
No, I think Attain was the last one, and she was just a few minutes ago. She said she was still here. So and I think anybody that we've got, just about everybody who said hello. I think Monica if Monica's still here. If you want to chime in, Monica, after Jack, I'll read for you.
Yeah, we could always just do some open readings too. We love doing that. Okay, Etain, no, you're on my mind, darling. I'm glad that they're all good things. Just a lot. It definitely sounds like that assessment that we've been talking about. Sometimes you just got to say, okay, what can be on hold and what can't be. But that might not be your reading. Let's find out. Oh, thank you everyone for chiming in. I was wondering. Okay, yes. So I have all reverse cards. So there's definitely like a slow down energy. Reverse doesn't mean bad. I love reading reverse because it does kind of give a good insight on different things. So we have the King of Pentacles first, and this is a great, fabulous card. And this is giving me definitely lots of the abundance, all good things that you just said, the abundance, the prosperity, but it's the management. It's almost nearly impossible, to kind of manage a king reversed. And it's a yes man. It's a I can do it man. It's I've already done this before last season. So there's a boldness and there's a confidence that is happening here. But we have the high priestess, and then we have, more importantly, the nine of wands reversed. So this is giving me that energy of almost a okay, so you can do it. Maybe you can physically do it. Maybe you can even financially do it. But can you psychically handle it all? Can your energy handle it all? Can your sense of um like your empathy and your walls and your kind of how you get burned out on an energetic level that isn't really explainable to many people. That's the point where I'm like, ooh, that's a lot. This could be, this is giving me the vibe of, being a psychic reader in Salem during October. Like, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot. Yes, you could do it. Yes, it makes sense to go in on it, but make sure that you give yourself some breaks. So whatever this is definitely, it looks wonderful, but make sure you allow for the breaks, because that's all this is. You allow for the breaks, you allow to shut the door and say, no more, I'm done. The nine of wands has spoken. I need to recoup and regenerate. Then you can handle it all. All these cards would be upright as long as you pace yourself and allow those moments to have that battery recharge. So if you don't do that, expect a total burnout and expect it just to all go blank, because that's ultimately what will happen, is that the King of Pentacles will be like, I'm not budging. And I'm saying no now. I'm canceling now. And so I don't want that to happen. I hope that makes sense for you, because it really is a good reading. It is a good spread. It just wants you to kind of preemptively plan those times apart. Um, oh well, thank you, Calliope. I hope that makes sense, and I'm glad. Yeah, it's just this is a tough season.
It is. It is. And it
Yeah.
shouldn't be. Well, hopefully, this is the Virgo energy. Think things won't feel as scattered, because it certainly has felt scattered. So we have Monica, and then we have Mary, and then we have Gail, and then Joanne, if we would like one for herself as well, since she's had one for Manoli. But I'll do Monica now,
Okay.
and then we'll move on, because Monica's been on since we started. So Monica, I'm using the Witch Sister deck for you, Monica, because I think you would like that one. I have the Witch of Waters, who is the Queen of Cups, and the Three of Trees, which is that's the wands, the fire suit, and then the Maid of Stones, which are pentacles. So the Queen of Cups with the Witch of Water. I mean, there is a lot. There's just a lot of watery. You're managing a lot of emotions. All kinds of emotions. I think you're handling them well, but there are times when you don't feel like you're handling them, and that's okay. It's okay, to let it go a little bit, because it's like, water. If you let it flow and let it go around the dam, it won't break the dam. So you have to let some of it out. That's why there's the spillway. So be sure that you're using your spillway. Where did that come from? Who knows? The Three of Trees, I like this. This is like, you have to be able to see the forest for the trees. You're gonna have to manage your emotions. You're gonna have to let some of that water out, let some of the emotion out. Don't hold everything in, but be sure so that you can clear the way to see things, to see your way forward in a way that makes sense and in a way that is manageable. And how you're going to do that is the Maid of Stones. So this is like the page energy. This is like you have to relearn what you already know. You have to rethink about it. You have to think about it a different way. It's not necessarily going to come, and I know, Monica, so when I'm saying this, it's not necessarily going to play out the way that you have it set to play out, but that's okay. I mean, you have to have your plan, but make it in pencil. And listen to the people that are helping you, that know how to do this, that because you have to have a beginner's mind about some of these things that are going on. You're doing things that you've never done before in ways that you've never done them. And so be sure that you're paying attention to the people that can teach you. But I think really the first one I got was this Witch of Waters. And that is just, there's a lot of emotion and a lot of pent up energy. And just, if you don't manage how you release it, it's going to manage you, and that will make it impossible for you to see the way through. So.
Definitely for Virgo season. Virgo loves a good plan, B, C, Z, D, X. Loves many
Exactly.
plans depending on the situation. Very
Yep.
easy to kind of do that at this time period. The brain is most sharper under this Virgo sign. So,
and we're getting there. I mean, so how we feel now is not how we're going to feel a week from now. I think that's important for everybody to however, whatever. I think we've seen from a lot of people, like, I'm scattered. I've seen a comment, I'm spinning, just take a breath. It's not going to be that way. So we have Mary, who is, how do I get this? I have this weird comment on my screen, but Mary is next. Me.
Oh, that's not who you just read? Okay.
No, I read Monica.
Okay. So Mary, who wrote, I'd love a couple cards. I'm a Virgo.
Sorry, I'm very late.
Okay. All right. All right, darling, I got you here. I know. I would love to pin the person like we just had it. I just don't know how we did that.
Oh, okay. So I can do that, but I think I'll pin her on me. Is that?
If you tell me how to pin on me.
I'm just, when you hover over in the comments, I think there's like a star. Oh, that didn't do it.
No. Okay. That's okay.
Oh, I did show. We hover over it and then hit show.
Okay.
And then hide. Show will come up. That's what, and it'll come up on your.
All right. I have 3 great cards. So, first one is the Emperor, and then I have the Sun reversed. So definitely good things are coming. A little bit more of a bossy direction, a little bit more of a there's a lot of stubbornness. There's a lot of kind of re-looking at the plan, reassessments. The Sun reverse is always delays. It's always great success. And then you have the Emperor, who is in control. He's very much a pioneer. He's in charge. He's got a lot of dictator energy. And that's what this kind of vibe is. This is giving me kind of really hard-headedly go over the plan again. Let's do this. Let's look at this one more time. And rightfully so, because I do have the High Priestess as the last card. And this vibration is something is not right, intuitively speaking. There is definitely a divine kind of feeling going on. There's definitely like I just don't seem like this is the time period. It could be, this could even be where it's like, is it even going to occur this year? When I'm looking at these 2 cards, it almost is saying like, this is something that might be better off next year or next spring, the Sun in Aries, so sometime in April instead. And if not, this can happen this year, whatever this is. It just needs to have a real good heart to heart, a real good, like kind of stern vibration to be like, what do we mean by success? What is occurring here? Because the High Priestess being the last card is really giving me that yield energy, that yield to the longer system, yield to the moons, yield to the hidden vibrations that you're feeling, that you might be onto something. You might have your nose on it and you just can't articulate it well. Well, then go over it with a fine-tooth comb. Go over it with the energy of the Emperor, with whoever it is that you're talking to. And I think it will be revealed. It will be revealed what it is happening. And then a better plan or a better position can happen. So that's the vibration I'm getting off of those 3 cards together.
Okay. Now that I'm learning how to do this, we have Gail next. Gail says she's been here all along. She's a lurker. I understand. We can't see who's here. So unfortunately, that's the one. But that's fine. We can work from that. Okay. So Gail, I pulled, we're just going to start. I pulled the Tower, but then I pulled the Eight of Cups, then I pulled the King of Wands. So the Tower, I mean, it's done. It's over. It's, there's no, this, and the Eight of Cups kind of confirms that there is no coming back from that, but you're free. I mean, it might have been a bit traumatic when it was happening, but the price that you paid for that, was your freedom. So that was all worth it. The King of Wands. It's time to take a look forward because you have been through the Tower, and then being able to cut your losses and walk away really leaves you in a better position than you were before you started. I mean, you've really come into your own power. You're carrying the fire there was a lot of energy that happened with this. And while the Eight of Cups is a little bit more of a calming, as you're walking away, that fire still burned within. So now it's like, where can you put that energy? Looking forward, what can you do with that? Because literally the lessons that you've learned from this, you're not the same person that you were when it started. And that's a good thing. So that was quick and to the point, but
I will add that
the Tower, it moves. Go ahead.
I know. I love how the red, the falling red, the guy is wearing red falling. So even if you were kicked out of the situation yourself, you're now the one who's on solid ground walking away from it. And now the red robed king saying, okay,
all the way through.
I now what do I do? They might reject me, but I'm not going to reject myself.
Right.
Yeah, that vibe is like really good.
I know my worth. Worth.
All right, so tell me what you did. You hovered. Sorry, everyone. You have to be patient. Where did you
go
over your name?
So the next person I think is going to be either Joanne or Melinda. They both kind of came at the same time. And you just hover over their comment, and there'll be a little thing that says "show," and then you click on where it's
That's not happening for me.
Maybe it's because I'm the one running the tech. Maybe that's why. Okay, well, I'm going to go. I'll pick Melinda for you because then I'll do Joanne since you did Manoli earlier. But then Melinda asked for, she's a Libra needing guidance for her love life. And what's
all right, darling. Well, we'll see if the love life shows up because I'm a true believer in that the universe, actually, I'm going to switch decks. I'm a true believer in the universe lets you know what you need to know. So sometimes when we're looking at love, something else might be occurring. So I will.
Gail, let me just stop you for a second. Gail's comment was she'd been bitten pretty severely by a dog, and I've forgotten about that. You're right. That definitely was your Tower moment. I mean, like it was pretty. Yeah.
So I would say that
I just got goosebumps, Gail. Wow. Okay, sorry, Melinda, to move into your time, but
all right. All right, we have some pretty intense cards. We have all major arcana cards. They start with the Judgment card, and then it quickly goes into the Hierophant and the Justice card. So a lot of times when people are asking me to do relationship readings, when I do, so I'll ignore the Judgment card for a minute, even though it was the first card. I will say that a lot of times the Justice and the Hierophant card together do give me elope, do give me Justice of the Peace vibes, do give me, contractual weddings, not just love letters to one another. I don't know if that's where you're at because I also have the Judgment card. So these cards are really intense to kind of say, what traditional values are you looking for in this relationship? What are you seeking, and are you getting your needs met? And the reason for that question is because at the end of the day, justice also wants balance, and it wants harmony. And the Judgment card is really looking for our higher calling and our higher purpose. It's not just judgment, as in we're asking these deeper questions about one another. It's also just about what is our higher, attainment. What are we trying to get for the greater purpose of our lives, the greater part of our harmony? And right there in the middle is the very orthodox energy of the Hierophant. Um, who also has a lot of spiritualism, also seeks the higher ground, the higher purpose, also wants to commune with the greater will of love and of family values. And so, is this relationship meeting those needs? This could go either way. I feel like these are harder questions that need to be asked, but ultimately, I do see a lot of hope and love here. I do see, if you are already married and this is already a love relationship, then I would say that these commitments are staying solid, but still in need for greater discussion. What are you two doing right now that is kind of the bigger purpose? What are some of your goals that you've had for one another that are no longer being met? And now it's time to get that back on the table and say, hey, we need to get back to to our vows, essentially. So that's the vibe I'm getting for those three cards.
Okay, and do that. And so I'm going to read for Joanne.
And then I think I want to do just open readings because we're at that
Yeah,
hour
well, yeah,
mark.
that'll be this will be our last reading for someone. So if you join late, sorry, but we will do a couple of open readings for
Yeah.
people as they watch later. So Joanne, the first card I pulled for you was the Five of Cups, and I pulled the Page of Swords after that, and I just it doesn't show well in my light, but this is a very darkly illustrated card looking at it from my, like, it's a nighttime sky there, and it's almost unnecessarily dark when I look at it that way. Like there's been some trials and some loss and some things that have kind of gotten you in a funk. But then there's the blue sky of the of the Page of Swords, and it's really a shift in thinking, and we're talking about this shift in the season too. I mean, we're moving into from fire energy into earth energy, and this is moving into more like water energy into air energy, but that's still that shift, and that shift in our perception and the way that we look at things, and that's really the key to getting out of and I know it sounds simple. It is simple, but simple doesn't mean that it's easy. And so it's really just, thinking about, okay, I love this card because we've all seen it, 3 cups are down, but 2 cups are left. All is not lost. It really is the glass, the glass half empty or half full. The point is the glass is refillable. That is the message for that. And it's filling out how to fill that glass. You don't want to just go to the tap, and get more tap water. What do you want? What do you want? You want Perrier, something else, something to kind of brighten things up and liven things up. And it's about being your own champion with that too, because you are your own worst enemy. You're also your own best champion. These things are true of all of us. And it's all in how we shift this card in the middle to how we think about ourselves. Are we the sad sack, or are we, but look at everything I've accomplished, look at everything I've done, and look at everything that I can do. So and knowing what I know about you, Joanne, I know that's, it seems like it's redundant and you already know all of this, but that may be exactly why I needed to say it tonight. So.
And I did just see Melinda's comment. I'm so sorry, darling. Single just been cheated on. You know, that is a major eye opener on what your values are and what you want with those cards that I saw. So let that be kind of your champion, your banner right now. That I can that you will want something more for yourself. At the end of the day. So
We
ugh.
really have had some big energy tonight, from catastrophic injuries to big moves to relationship issues to
It was
just
a hell
all
of a
kinds.
Leo season. It was a hell
Yeah.
of a Leo season with Mercury retrograde, and and for the first part of it too, there was moments where it was conjunct that Pluto in Aquarius. It really was. In for those that don't know, Pluto is a very transformative energy. And so, yeah, it was really like, here it is, let's shape things up from the heart. Matters of the heart. Matters are, how brave are you? This Leo season really asked us. And how big do you feel? How how much ego do you have? How much self-love do you have? These big questions have really been asked this season.
Yep. And the strength card, moving out the energy of the strength card, as well as, yep.
So
There's that line.
Virgos,
Jack, do you want to take the open reading for anybody joining us later?
yes, I do. And while I get ready for this reading, again, just want to reiterate, if any of you that we've already read tonight connects to this reading, feel free to connect to it. And for those that are joining us late or who are quiet, this one might be for you.
Or me.
Or you. My dear friend, as I draw the High Priestess.
Oh, I must be psychic.
So this configuration is really giving me that sovereignty vibe. Sovereignty is a word that has to do with divine placement. Wearing that crown on tight, knowing who you are, knowing your worth, and knowing there's a part of you that belongs on this land, physical location, or in the room, depending on who else is in the room with you who doesn't feel like you belong. And so sovereignty says, I do belong here. This is my land. This is my moment. And that's what this vibration here. Not only do we have the two swords, which is kind of reminiscent of the sword of the stone, the lady of the lake, but we actually have the lady of the lake, and then we have the holy grail, of course. So this is
Wow, I've got goosebumps.
so we are very sovereign right now. So the only decision that's here, meaning the two of swords, because this is a stalemate situation between the energy of the goddess, the energy of yourself, the energy of the more feral, wild, unconditional love side of yourself, versus this part of you that's more reserved, the part of you that is a little bit more of a secret keeper, holding your heart close to your chest. And as you can see, maybe even more priestly or nun-like. So there's that energy there. How wild do you want to go? How free do you want to go? Or how reserved do you need to be? And every situation is going to really ask that question now that we enter Virgo season, because Virgo is the virgin. It is the purity of the signs. It is, the maiden, if you will. Even in the time of harvest, she's still dignified. At the same time, a Virgo on fire is wilder than most people realize. So I think this is the time period where we need to kind of assess each moment of how intense, how passionate are we going to be, or how close are we going to play the long game and reserve ourselves, as Virgo can reserve themselves very, very well. So,
Yeah. Sorry, my
you
husband
look
was just
very
looking.
blinded by light.
I know. Okay, so that really might have been for me.
Oh, it's definitely a very general reading because that is going to come up again and again during Virgo
Yeah.
season.
Well, we've said it before. If anybody listening to this afterwards, or those of you who are here now, I mean, if you've heard your message, it's your message, and that's just how this works. You can say the same thing to 3 different people, and everybody receives their message. They know it's for them, and they know what it means.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start the closing end of our meditation to release us from this space. So if everybody will please again get comfortable in your seat, feet on the floor, hands in your lap. You can close them up now because we're going to take the energy into ourselves. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Another breath in deeper this time and exhale. Begin to feel your cosmic shawl lift from around your shoulders. In your mind's eye, you watch as it rises up seamlessly to join all the other stars as perfectly as it was before. One deep breath in, last time, and out. Slowly open your eyes and find yourself back in your room. Just as your shawl is one with all the stars and planets of the universe, know too that so are you. You are not separate. You are a part of the universe. So thank you all for being here this evening and bringing your curious and welcoming energy. Until we meet again, thank all of you.
Happy Virgo season, everybody. Be well. Thank you.
Till next time. You never know when we're going to pop up.
Thank you, Mary.
And okay, I think we're